Back to Cars and Farms today. We'll switch these 5-frame nukes over into 10-frame boxes. Stick with us, I'll show you how it's done. Well, I already got my veil on. Smoker's lit right here. I'm gonna go ahead and spread these lids out on the back of the truck right there. Put one by each hive, and then we'll start working through them. See how many made it, see how many didn't make it. These have been here for about a month now. Maybe 3 weeks, I'm not sure. They look strong, bees are flying out of them. I'll show you that. As you can see, all the bees are coming and going out of that one, out of that one. So I think we had a really good take. It's also springtime in Florida, so you can't really make too many mistakes with them. But I see drones flying in and out of that one, so I'm gonna take the 5 frames out of this and move it over into these 10-frame boxes. These are just empty frames of comb. There's usually one plastic cell in each box, so they have something to work on. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's always interesting to see how many made it and how many didn't make it. I think there's 26 in here, and that was a hole about broke my ankle in. But yeah, 26 hives, and one extra hive I made up the other day that was a found swarm. So let's get to it. Let me spread these lids out. We'll go from there. As I'm digging through them and setting these lids out, I figure I'll show you how we make our lids while we're at it. Kind of show you our ideas behind it and why we do it the way we do. So let's take a look. So these are our standard lids here. We like to run a cavity lid. Give some space up underneath the lid for heat to come out, because we are in Florida. We also like to run little gaps in the corners of the lid. There's one here, one there, and then of course you got your feed hole here. But we believe that flipped over like that, this gives somewhere for more heat to escape if you got a bucket over the top. So we get a better ventilation, we believe, out of the hives. Sometimes they'll use these as entrances, but most of the time they're still using the bottom entrance on the hive, and they're not really coming and going through here. A few will come and go, but most of the time it won't. So that's not been a problem for us, and we really like this design. This is a concrete foam board up top, of course with our brand on it right there. And then these runners, we've tried it a few different ways. I believe this is what they call cheese board. We've also used pressure treated fence board and cut it into strips, and we've also used 2x4s and cut it into strips. Just kind of whatever we think is a good quality wood that'll hold up over time. And then for screws, I believe these are like little stainless square-headed. See if I can get a good shot of it here. These are little like aluminum or stainless hex head or square-headed screws. So they work really good. You don't want to use like a standard steel one, because they'll rust out and this whole piece will just fall off. So that's kind of what we use, and that's why we like them. Now let's finish. All right, we're going to start with these 4, and we're going to move them over to these 4 boxes here. Going to try to keep them in order, so that one goes there, that one goes there, that one goes there, that one goes there. You know, standard practice. But a lot of people will say, oh, well, you can't move them from here to here. They won't know where their hive is, how to find it. The secret is, if you mess up these and move them, and you mess up the whole yard and move them, well, guess what? Now they're all going to be looking for their house. So these bees will start putting off a pheromone saying, hey, we live here, and the bees can actually smell that queen's pheromone, and they'll fly into this entrance without you having to do much. It'd be optimal to move this back on top of here where they already were, but without another person here, I won't be able to pick that up and physically move it over there. So we'll do our best to keep them straight, but they're pretty good at figuring it out. So let's pop this one open and see how she looks. We'll get a little smoke going. Go ahead and open this lid up. Ooh, yeah, that's a good amount of bees in there. That looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna dig one of these frames out here off camera and check it for brood. I'll show you that once I get it out. And if it's got brood, got eggs, everything looks kosher, then we'll move it over. Pulled the first frame out right there. It has a few eggs on it. So then I moved over to this frame. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see it in the light, but there is some cat brood there. And there is some larvae and stuff. Let me see if I can get it in the light for us. Hard to see down in there. But there is eggs. Take my word for it. Eggs. So there's a queen in here laying. So we'll go ahead and move it over to that box and get them shut up and try not to disturb them too much. Of course, right as I'm ending it, moving it over, same frame. There's a queen right there. Nice big fat mama. Good color. Searching for somewhere to lay and wondering why we're disturbing her. So now we'll get her switched over. Well, I got them all moved over into that box. That went pretty smooth. So I'll take this box and remove it. So now the bees coming back go, hey, where'd my house go? And then they'll start trying to find it over here. Take all these bees here and bump them out, along with the top rails, I guess, but nice and clean. Pick these up, throw them back in the bottom. Then we'll make a nice stack of these on the truck. Got it closed up now. About 25 more to go. I'll let you know if I find anything interesting, or find a really big one or a really small one or something like that. So let me start popping them back open. I'll see if I can find anything strange. Let's get it. Well, so far 4 out of 4, not bad. This one right here is real strong. Got bees all along the sides. These frames are really stuffed full, and they actually got about 2 or 3 frames of brood in there. But I'm real happy with them. Hopefully this keeps up, and we got a real good success on mating these cells. You can see the cell right here that we put in. So that's like a queen egg. She hatched out. She went down in there, flew out of the hole, mated with some wild bee up in the air up there, and flew back in, and now she's fertilized and laying some babies. This one here, that's the lid covered in bees. That's the box covered in bees. You can see they're starting to bridge wax, trying to make more comb because they're already out of room. So that's why it's real important to keep an eye on these. As soon as she's mated, as soon as she starts laying eggs and putting brood in it, they gotta go. They gotta go into a new box. So if they run out of room there, they're gonna swarm and try to find a house in a tree somewhere. Don't want bees in a tree, you want bees in a box. But this looks good, so we'll keep going. Ooh, look at that full sheet of brood. Haven't found the queen on this one, but there's like 3 or 4 of these full frames of brood in there, so this thing is ready to explode any minute. So let's get the other half in there and close it up. Got them all in there. That almost looks like it needs a box. We give it 2 weeks, it probably will need a box. So that one's gonna make some honey this gallberry season in a couple more months. And I'm hoping the rest of these all make gallberry too, because Daddy could use a new pair of boots, if you know what I mean. So we'll get back to it. The rest, they're all going easy. I haven't lost one yet. I had one that isn't mated yet, so I'm happy so far. Well, this is about the weakest one I've seen so far. Only a few frames of bees in there. Probably didn't have a queen that made it, and so all the bees are starting to die off. I'll give it a check and let you know. Alright, I pulled 2 frames out so far, and you can listen to them. Hear how loud they are, buzzing. That definitely means not a very good sign that she's alive. I haven't found no eggs, nothing like that. So, take a look at this frame. Nope. There's no larvae, no eggs. Couple little cat pieces of brood right there, but that's from the last time. It just hasn't hatched out yet, so I'll say this one's dead. So what we're gonna do with this dead one, I'm gonna move all the bees over to this box, all these frames over, and I'll double it up. That was a swarm I caught. It's pretty strong, so we'll just double this up on that, and maybe a month be able to split it back off into another hive. So, but that's what a weak one looks like and sounds like. You can always tell by the sound how flighty they are, how much they wiggle around. See, all the bees are kind of running. I haven't smoked them or nothing. They're just real jittery, but easy way to tell if they're dead or not. So we'll get this moved over and keep on going. We're almost done. Got 8 more to do. Well, got a good sweat going there. I only had 2 that didn't quite make it, so pretty happy about that. And I'll show you the rest of them. They look pretty good. Come back in a week or 2, check on them, make sure they're still alive again, because sometimes they're not alive. Sometimes you do this and you'll smash a queen or 2, and that's just part of it, you know. Every time you start moving frames around in the bottom of those hives is a chance you're going to smash a queen. But try to be as gentle as possible. And I got stung only 2 times a day, so count that as a blessing. But let's take a look at these bees. So these bees right here I just moved over. This is the last ones. They're still kind of piling up on the corner of the pallets, but most of them found their home and they're finding their home. Don't worry about that. Experimental food I'm working on. And yeah, you can see they're all flying back. Lots of bees in the air, but yeah, they do still tend to go, hey, where's my hive? It was here. But they'll work on it. They'll get back over. Let's look at the ones I did first. So these right here I did first. And there's already bees flying in and out of them. And this is their pallet, so they've already abandoned theirs, you know, and hey, this ain't where it's at. This ain't where it's at. So count that as a win. So they will all fly back to their house once they realize where they're at. And you can see there's not many bees flying around these pallets over here. Lots of bees in the air. So hopefully they do good. So I'm done with this today. Glad I got it all done. Gonna close this bear fence back up. And then I'm off to bucket up some honey. Got like 5 gallon buckets I need to fill for a customer. So we're off to do that. So work never stops. But I'll catch you next time. Subscribe, like, do all that stuff. Just watch the videos, watch the shorts, I don't care. Anything. It's not really making much money, but hey, a little bit's better than nothing, but I've always been told. But we'll catch you next time on Cars and Farms. See ya.